Easy exercises. High reps versus low reps. Now, the idea of low reps is that you're using very heavy weights, so you can only move the weights for a couple reps. High reps means you're using a lighter weight and moving them multiple times. So that is the big difference between high reps and low reps is the amount of weight you're using. So when you're using heavy weights and doing low reps, that is more stress in a shorter period of time, which is why you do less reps than if you use lighter weights for a longer period of time. So since you're using weights for a longer period of time, that means your muscles can handle the stress for long periods of time, which is why you could do multiple reps before you hit failure. It takes longer to hit failure with light weight than it is heavy weight. Heavy weight speeds up the process of you hitting failure sooner than later. So if you want to spend less time in the gym, heavy weights. If you want to spend more time in the gym, light weights. Either way, both scenarios, you're going to hit failure regardless. You're going to get to the point where the muscles are stressed enough that they end up losing strength, which is what failure is. You lose strength because you hit failure. So this idea of, like, as you can see, the person responding to me was talking about, like, it does more muscle damage than heavy weight and low reps and recover way faster. Right? Now, the way you worded this sounds weird, but I think I'm assuming he wanted to say that heavy weights and low reps, you recover faster from that than if you did high reps. Because, of course, the person was trying to disagree with me originally with the idea that higher reps causes more damage. So they're trying to say that the more reps you do, which obviously the only reason you could do more reps is because you're using lighter weight, trying to say that you're causing more muscle damage doing more reps with light weight than if you did fewer reps with heavy weights. Now, I can understand if he wanted to say, if this was his argument, which doesn't even counter what I was saying, if he was saying, oh, no, I'm saying you take the same weight, take 50 pounds that you normally could do 20 reps with, but do 10 instead, right? Do half of the reps you could do, so leave 10 in reserve. If that's what the person was trying to say, they would not be wrong if that's what they were trying to say. However, that has nothing to do with my initial statement. My initial statement is if you use lighter weights and do more reps, right, you'll recover faster from that type of training than if you did heavier weights with less reps. So the more weights you use, the longer it'll take for you to recover, because you use more stress. Your muscles was under more stress with the heavy weights than the lighter weights. So to think that heavy weights, you can quickly recover, maybe if you're on steroids, but you're not going to quickly recover from using heavy weights. I can use it myself for an example, because I just recently came up with a different way of doing squats technically. So bench squats. I noticed that I have a bit of a problem since I'm progressively overloading. I'm getting to a point where I can't hold the dumbbells next to me while I do the squat, because I do like a wide stance when I do the bench squats with the dumbbells, and my thighs is getting in the way. Like, it's hard for me to go up and down, straight up and down with the weight when my thighs are spreading out in, so to speak, right? So my thighs are in the way, is what I'm saying. So it's difficult to do it. So, because normally what I do is I hold it, I use my shoulders, right, and elevate the weights a little bit off of my thighs. So when I lower and lift, the weights in my thighs are not touching. So because I'm progressively overloading and my shoulders are not that strong for me to be holding 18 pounds or something like that. And for me to be holding that much weight to the side while I do the dip, and I know most people probably will have the same problem. I was like, okay, I need to find a different way to be able to do this, to be able to progressively overload, to be able to do the movement, but with dumbbells, because the idea is to do squat with the dumbbells. Now, one way you could be like, oh, why don't you just lift it and hold it, like you're going to do a shoulder press and then do the squat. Yeah, but again, that means I have to have the arm and the shoulder strength to hold that much heavy weight. You have to understand, I'm holding 100 plus pounds. Like I'm in the 100-pound range right now with the dumbbell squats. So my upper body is not as strong as I would like it to be. My legs are stronger. That's the point. My legs are stronger than my upper body. I'm still working on it. The point is I'm not strong enough to be able to do that. Plus, remember, it's supposed to be a leg workout, not a shoulder, arm, upper body workout. So I'm like, how can I make myself heavy, right? How can I carry this weight? Now, something I noticed that I did wrong is that I took the fact that I used 2 dumbbells for the exercise, but I used both my legs, both my thighs for the exercise. And what I did was I took one of the dumbbells and I positioned myself in a way where I can go down and up and not be obstructed. So I can, I can do the squat with one dumbbell, right? And I did 10 reps. And it was heavy, right? But I realized that I did another set, right? Another set with the other arm. So I switched the arms, right, and the legs, and did it. But then after the exercise one, I realized, especially the next day, I definitely had this epiphany. I'm like, wow, why all my other muscles have recovered already within 24 hours, but my legs are still burning. Now they feel better. It's been essentially almost 48 hours now, and they're starting to feel better. I was like, why are my thighs in pain as if I did, a lot of weight training, right? I was using heavy weights, but I only did 1 set per leg. And I'm like, no, I did not. I used both my legs to do the squat. So I actually did 2 sets per leg with 1 dumbbell at a time. So that's the thing. So since I used the heavy dumbbell, just one, not both, but just one of them, but I did 2 sets of that, it added up to, it added more stress. And that's the thing, is that I ended up doing 2 sets when the idea was to do 1. So the fact that I'm still 48 hours later, still, got sore legs, when all the other muscles, my chest, my arms, all my abs, all the other muscles that I did, because I did a full body exercise, full body routine, all recovered already within the first 24 hours. But my legs are the only ones that didn't. It's because I did something different. I was trying a different method of doing the squat, which ended up causing me to do 2 sets actually. So that's the thing. It took a realization afterwards when I was trying to figure out a new way to do the dumbbell bench squat, that I'm like, oh shit, I did 2 sets. Oh, no wonder I'm in pain. No wonder I haven't completely healed. The idea is to heal within the first 24 hours. For the soreness to go away and for me to start feeling strong. But of course, I'm still give myself, days and days of recovery, right? Rest. But I am looking forward to the idea of trying to work out more than once a week, using this method, of course. But the point is that I use heavier weight, right? That's the main thing. I used heavier weight and did more. I used heavier weight and I did more set. So my legs experienced way more stress. Now, granted, it was 10 reps per each set, but it still was heavy nonetheless. So the stress added up. I wanted not too much stress, but also not too little stress. Just enough, right in the middle, right? The good spot, the Goldilocks zone, basically. So 10 reps, 1 set, 1 exercise. But accidentally, I did 2 sets because I forgot that it's like, oh, I'm not using 1 leg at a time when I did the exercise, like I do with all my other one body part exercise, like my 1 arm exercise or one calf raise exercise. No, I use both my legs for the squat. And since I did the exercise twice, thinking I was using each leg separately, no, I was using both legs. Like, oh shit, duh, I was using both legs. Just because I was carrying one dumbbell with one arm doesn't mean I was only using one leg for the exercise. It's a leg exercise, not an arm exercise. So that made the situation ironically hilarious. I'm like, okay, at least now I know what I need to do. I can use one arm to hold the weight, to hold all the weight that I need for the bench squat. I just gotta remember to only do one set, and that's it. So I solved the problem that I accidentally created. But the point is like, because I'm still in pain, slight pain right now, but since I'm still in pain, it proves that yes, heavy weights, especially multiple sets, are going to cause way more damage than if I was to use lighter weights with more reps, right? And definitely less sets. That's another thing, because sets can also compound, you know. But that's for another conversation. Right now, it was just about, technically, the simplest thing you can do is one set, 20 reps. You can heal from that faster than one set, 10 reps, or one set, 5 reps, or one set, one rep max. Like, the heavier you go and the less reps you do, the longer it takes. I have not yet done the full math, because I know there is a math for it of how many hours it takes for you to recover from whatever rep/weight. It'll be more about reps than weight anyway, right? Logically. But maybe weights might be a factor, but I think it'll probably just be reps. So if you do one set, 5 reps, one exercise, let's say hypothetically, that's a 12-hour recovery time you need. You need a minimum of 12 hours when you do that. That's probably the math for it. Again, this is hypothetical since I haven't really done the math for it yet. You know, the research, so to speak. Haven't done the experiment to figure out how much time you need to recover per set, per reps, right? Even maybe per weight, depending on like how much weight. Because progressive overload is a thing, you get stronger over time. So that's for another conversation. That's some experimenting stuff, some science-based lifting stuff for later. But for now, it was just to point out the fact that like, if it takes longer for you to recover from doing an activity for a long period of time with light weights, that means after a day of walking and at work or living your life, or even if you did 10,000 steps of walking, that means for the rest of the week, you should not be able to walk at all. But no, you still can walk. Why? Is because your legs recovered from that. That's why. So thinking that, and I'm 300 pounds doing 10,000 steps, and I still can do 10,000 steps every day. That means my legs are recovering fast, regardless of how heavy I am, right? How much weight and stress my legs are going into. But it's because it's not as much weight as you might think, right? Especially some people don't even take into account that when you squat, it's not just the weight on the bar that you're squatting, you're also squatting your body weight. So your legs are already used to your body weight. So your body can definitely do 10,000 steps with your current body weight. Notice some people who are even heavier than me, like 400, 500, 600 pounds, you'll see they will struggle with just walking 2,000 steps, 3,000, 4,000. But I could do 10,000. I could do more than that. I just only do 10, but I could do more than 10,000 steps, right? The reason why is because, well, one, I weigh less, and two, my legs can handle my weight for that long period of time since I do a lot of walking. And that's the thing. That's why I have the concept of every day is leg day. As long as you're always walking, you're a heavy person, every day is leg day. If you're walking, you have a backpack, and the backpack's it's like 40 pounds worth of stuff in your backpack. You're doing weight training. You're doing resistance training. You're heavier than you normally would be, and your legs have to compensate and get you stronger to handle that extra weight. So when you take your backpack off, you feel light as a feather, right? That's how that works, because your legs got stronger to handle that weight. because it had to get strong fast, so it had to recover fast. But anyway, hopefully hope some of y'all understand how muscles actually work, because a lot of y'all don't seem to know how muscles work. If you think that doing more reps with 10 pounds is going to take longer to recover from than doing 5 reps with 400 pounds. Yeah. Keep telling yourself that. Keep hoping that your 10 pounds exercise routine is equally as demanding as 1 set, 5 rep, 405 pounds bench. Yeah, keep telling yourself that. Because in reality, that is not true. 405 benching for 5 reps will take longer to heal from than 10 pounds and 1,000 reps.